All right, so good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started now. I'd like to welcome everybody to the City of Fairfield Fire Department virtual information session for our lateral firefighter paramedic recruitment. So you should all see the PowerPoint we have displayed. My name is Taylor Armour and I'm the Administration Division Manager here at the Fire Department. Joining us from Human Resources is Leslie Sexton. And from our Fire Department, we have Deputy Chief Rob Herrick, Fire Captain Ashley Burris, Fire Engineer Robbie Engel, and Firefighter Paramedic Danny Torres. Together, our representatives will provide information about the City of Fairfield and our Fire Department. We'll also provide information about the application and recruitment process while helping to answer any questions along the way. So you guys who are members of the audience, you should be able to see a chat feature in addition to a Q&A. Our goal is to answer as many of your questions as possible. So please go ahead and utilize those as you feel is appropriate. If there's anything that's highly individualized, we can go ahead and answer that offline and connect with you that way. So at this time, I would like to welcome Fire Chief Matt Lukenbach to open with a brief introduction before we dive into the guidance.
Good morning, everybody. As Taylor said, Fire Chief Matt Lukenbach. I just wanted to thank everybody for spending a couple of minutes with us this morning, and hopefully we can get all your questions answered. The reason I wanted to open is just to give you kind of a quick background on our department and what I think makes us special. I've been there for 30 years and it hasn't always been great. We've had some growing pains over the years, but we've continued an upward trajectory to get us to where we are today. And this is our second go around hiring laterals, and we've had really good success. And I think some of the stuff that you might be worried about as a lateral firefighter, things like security and culture and joining a new place once you're secure in another department. I can tell you that I use the term secret sauce a lot when I refer to our department. We have an incredibly stable organization. People don't leave us. They come to us and they stay. And the reason for that is because we care about each other as people. We invest in each other. And some of the things that I think make us a little bit different, we don't haze people. We let you in on day one and it's up to you to stay there. We certainly hold people accountable, but we've never done the BS stuff where we haze people and make people feel unwelcomed and spend the first year essentially building divisions between people. You're in on day one and it's up to you to stay there. But it's something that we're proud of, and I think is actually very different than some of our regional partners. We're a really cool department. We do a lot of really neat things that you'll hear about more here in the coming session, but there's something for everybody. We take pride in having a lot of little specialties. We're a very fit department. We're an incredibly social department, off duty. We're a bit old school in that sense. I don't want to take too much of your time, but what I will just tell you is this: if you come here, it's a special place. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. This is different than most other departments. A lot of us are from the area. A lot of us have worked together for decades. And like I said, people don't leave this place. So on behalf of the department, I just really want to thank everybody for being here. I'm obviously not on duty today. I'm at a city council retreat, but really excited for y'all to be here. So I'll turn it over to the panelists and hope everybody has a great day. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chief. All right, so in just a moment, we'll turn it over to the speakers that are joining us today, but I did want to quickly go over some items from the application and the MQs. So the MQs were the items that we wanted to highlight on that flyer that I'm sure many of you have seen. As Chief also mentioned, this is different than prior opportunities we've had. This is our first lateral only recruitment effort, and as such, you must currently be a non-probationary firefighter with an ALS fire department. So that's number one on the list here. And then additionally, another item to highlight that if you had seen our efforts previously, we are waiving the CPAT requirement. There's some other items listed here as well. If anyone had any questions specific to the MQs, please go ahead and feel free to use the chat function or the Q&A, and we will get to that. Moving into tips for the application. Leslie Sexton handled this along with some other HR staff last year. This year it's Vanessa Operond who will be working with us, but we just wanted to share that the application is our first introduction to you. So this is how human resources will determine whether or not you meet the MQs that we just spoke about and advance through the process. So a thorough and complete application is absolutely critical. Just a couple things to note for this. Many of you as laterals probably already have a NeoGov account with some level of job history and a work profile created. So please make sure that that is up to date with your most current employment. Also, HR will thank you very much if you can include everything as a PDF upload rather than a JPEG. Makes it easier for them to open and quickly run through. Also, supplemental questions, make sure that every single one of those questions is answered. And then if you answered yes or no and it asks to include something, upload something, please do so. If you have any questions at all on any of those items, you can reach out to Human Resources or myself and we can assist you there to make sure your application is as complete as possible. And then lastly, please be on the lookout for emails and text notifications regarding the status of your application and also self-scheduling. We will be utilizing that feature as we move through the extensive testing and interview process. Leslie, did you have anything that you would like to add at this point?
No, that sounds pretty good. I will say that if you don't attach everything and we send you prior to the closing of the accepting of applications, if we DQ you because you didn't include something, you are able to reapply and attach everything you need to attach. So if it doesn't work the first time, try again.
Great, thank you. And then we do have a question from Joey, who is attending today. He's asking, will the PHTLS be required upon application or accepted prior to appointment? Chief Herrick, did you want to speak to that?
Absolutely. So what we've done in the past with these laterals is any of those cards are going to have to be required at the time of hire. So we'll go back and review it, submit everything else. And then once you get that, please submit that to us as well.
Great. And just to clarify, time of hire is defined as the day that you would be on payroll. Any other questions from the audience regarding the application? All right. Please continue to feel free to use the chat and Q&A throughout. But at this time, I will be turning it over to Deputy Fire Chief Rob Herrick.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to thank you very much for taking time to participate in this webinar or for those that log in and watch later. My name is Rob Herrick. I'm the Deputy Chief in charge of support services, which is pretty much everything that's administrative, which includes hiring, policies, procedures, master plan, etc. I'm also in charge of overseeing new station design and construction of our 2 new fire stations, as well as the EMS chief. We are very excited about this hiring process and the ability to attract quality lateral candidates. We've been very successful with our last 2 lateral academies, and we have high hopes that this hiring will be more of the same. We're currently hiring 3 with the possibility of more. And we, like Chief Lukenbach was saying, we're in a great time period in this department. In the next 3 to 7 years, we anticipate a large amount of retirements. This will create many promotions from the ranks of deputy chief, battalion chief, captain, all the way to the engineer ranks. Even though these positions are initially attached to a SAFER grant, technically considered limited term, they are being used to finish our staffing for our 7th company. Our finances are healthy and stable. And with the amount of attrition that we're going to see over the next several years, it's my opinion that all of these positions will not be affected. And I would imagine that all of this hiring will be off the SAFER grant list prior to the list expiring. Historically, here in this department, we've never laid off any firefighters, and with the continual increase in call volume and staffing recommendations coming from our master plan, I don't expect that to change. In addition to the many promotion opportunities, our department has many specialty teams, including hazmat, USAR, honor guard, CISM, peer support, a SWAT TIMS program, fire investigators, to name a few. We're in the process of building 2 new fire stations. Station 36 will be in West Fairfield, which will be home to our new 7th company that's going into service June of this year. We are also in the plans of building its sister station to replace our oldest station, which is Station 39, located in the northeast section of Fairfield near Travis Air Force Base. We just put into service a new tiller truck in January of this year. We have 3 new Pierce engines scheduled for delivery of August of this year, and 2 more Wildland Type 5 Skeeters, hopefully will be delivered next year. A little bit of expectations as far as for this upcoming academy. We anticipate the academy will be about 5 to 6 weeks. This will be depending on what type of certifications everybody has coming in. We offer many certifications in our academies, from driver operator to LORO to RS1, hazmat, FRO, and decon. And so depending on what this group has, that's what the length of the academy will be. In that academy, we provide new uniforms, custom fit turnouts. Everybody in our departments is issued 2 sets of turnouts. There is no academy and pay rate, so you'll be starting your normal salary while in the academy. And I will defer to the other panelists to talk more about our culture. But I do want to share the direction from the fire chief down that firefighter health and wellness is one of his top priorities. Our greatest asset is our people. We believe if you take care of the people, they will take care of the mission, which is top level service to our citizens and the communities that we serve. We have a comprehensive firefighter wellness program that includes robust cancer prevention initiatives, annual comprehensive medical and physical screenings, CISM, peer support, therapy dogs, and chaplains. All right, so just a little more about our department and the community that we serve. We are considered an all-risk department. We are ALS-based engines and truck company. Currently, we have 5 stations. We have 5 engine companies and 1 ladder truck. In June this year, we're adding an additional engine company, which will be Engine Company 36, which will take us to 6 engines and 1 ladder truck. Engine 36 will be housed temporarily at Station 35 until its new Station 36 is completed, which we anticipate in August of 2024. Fairfield, its population is 118,000. Our square miles we serve is 40. We have a mix of residential, commercial, industrial, major highway, rail, and Air Force Base, and a large wildland urban interface. Last year's call stats, we ran just over 15,000 calls for service. Our department averaged 41 calls a day. Of those 15,000 calls, 10,500 were medicals and a little over 600 were fires. Our Station 37 is the busiest station in Solano County. And last year, between Engine 37 and Truck 37 that's housed there, they ran 5,079 calls for service. And this here is just one of our organizational charts. So you can kind of see how we're set up. Underneath the fire chief, we're broken down into 4 divisions. We have Deputy Chief of Operations, and Chief Sturdy oversees emergency response, the training division, and currently the emergency management division. Underneath him, our 3 shifts are broken into 7 companies with 21 personnel assigned to those 7 companies. We have an administrative division manager division, which handles our administrative assistants and our management analyst. We have a fire marshal prevention bureau, which currently is a fire marshal, and we have 4 plans examiners and fire inspectors. And then we have myself at the Deputy Chief of Support Services.
All right, sorry about that. Thank you, Chief Herrick. So now at this time, if anyone has any questions regarding the department in general, some of the stats or demographics, please feel free to chime in now in the Q&A or the chat. I'll continue to monitor those. And going into this next phase, we're going to turn it over to our panel. So I'd like to welcome again Fire Captain Ashley Burris, Fire Engineer Robbie Engel, and Firefighter Paramedic Danny Torres.
Good morning. We're just going to do a quick introduction of ourselves and highlight some things that we feel are important about our department, and then open it up to you guys to answer any of your questions you may have for us. So quickly about me, I've been with Fairfield for 11 years. I've been a paramedic for 14 years. Currently, I'm a captain at Station 37 on A shift. That's our dual house with the engine and the truck and the battalion chief. It's a busy station. I really enjoy it. If you want to be busy, it's a great station to be at. We run a variety of calls. And one of the things that brought me to this agency, since I'm not a local person from here, was the culture. And I can't say enough about our culture and how welcoming that we are to new individuals. And when I came and visited the Fairfield Fire Department, that's when I knew, like, this is where I wanted to spend the rest of my career. And there wasn't another department that I wanted to work for. So I'm going to pass it off to Robbie.
Good morning. My name is Robbie Engel. I've been with this department for 11 years full time. I was also a reserve for about 4 years before. Did some time on the ambulance as an EMT and a paramedic. Currently stationed at Station 41 as an engineer. In June, I'm moving into 37. Like she said, 37 is a busy house, but so is 41. So I enjoy it there. I always like being busy. Also been super involved with the union. Been on the union board now for about 8 years, both as a treasurer and as a steward. And then I've been on our negotiating team the last 3 rounds. So for about 8 years. So any questions you guys might have, feel free to ask them. I'll turn it over to Danny Torres.
Morning, everyone. Danny Torres, firefighter paramedic. Been here for about 8 years now. Currently stationed at 41 A shift. Just want to talk a little bit about some of the culture that Ashley was talking about, Captain Burris was talking about, and Chief talked about earlier. That really is the biggest part that brings people here. That's the biggest thing that keeps people here. Is this place is so special. I was also a reserve, just like Robbie was, for right about 2 years before I got hired. And even starting at the reserve level, the amount of respect that I got from people that I worked with on shift was unreal. Even at that level, I was shown so much respect. They showed me that, which earned my respect for them, and really just made me want to work harder for them and then want to be at this place and this place only. That's carried on throughout ever since I've gotten hired. This place is a great place if you have ideas. Even coming in as a newer firefighter, I had a lot of ideas with the EMS type stuff. I brought them forward. I came up with proposals, and they've come into play now. So definitely a progressive place, definitely an awesome place to work for. Professionally, the culture is amazing. Everybody works hard here. Everybody's good people. But then even on the personal side too, we all get together for barbecues, go out, hang out, do a bunch of trips together. We have an annual tournament that we do, golf tournament, the Glusen Cup. We have a lot of traditions that we carry on that I think kind of shapes the culture here. And makes this the fun, kind of family-oriented place that we want to keep going here. Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to talk about a few other things to make sure that we tell you guys just more about the department. So as Chief Lukenbach and Deputy Chief Herrick discussed or told you guys about, we definitely are expecting a lot of growth over the next few years and turnover. And so it's an exciting time for our department. And we're looking for those people to come in here and want to take the torch and run with it. We definitely empower employees no matter their rank. If you can, as Danny said, if you have ideas and you want to bring something new to the department, we almost always support it with your time and financially to better our department as a whole. We feel like our people definitely are key to progressing and improving and providing quality services to our citizens. Some other things, we have been lucky to build almost brand new apparatus fleet. Just put our new truck in service a couple months ago. We now have a backup truck. All of our engines are new. We have the skeeters. Lots of new equipment, new stations, definitely new things that we're bringing forward. Another thing that we do is we support outside classes and training. We will send you to classes. If you see a need or a deficiency, we'll support you in going through that. We have a growing training division, which has improved us as a department. You want to talk about anything?
Yeah, I think that covers most of the cultural stuff.
Cultural stuff. And then just for people that are coming from other departments, outside agencies out of the county, that kind of stuff. Another thing that's really important to look at too is we offer a very we offer a big opportunity for experience here, especially in the firefighter rank, for just on the job experience. All of our engine companies have first out extrication equipment on them, which is not common amongst a lot of other departments. So even not just being on the truck, even being assigned to an engine company, I've gotten tons of experience doing extrications, that kind of stuff. Like Chief Herrick was talking about, we have a lot of wildland urban interface, tons of wildland experience you'll get here. We get enough fires to keep us busy with that stuff for structure fires, wildland fires, all that kind of stuff. But it's really a well-rounded place to get that initial experience in the firefighter level. And that's something that I've definitely enjoyed being here.
Yeah, so I think we've hit most of the teams or specialized areas that we have in the department. I just want to make sure that we definitely have an active Explorer program. It's a great mentor program. We bridge those individuals into our reserve program once they time out of the Explorer program. Also great on-the-job training, a great way for the crews to mentor future firefighters. Our recruitment division, our SWAT medic and TEMS team, our social media team is really active. We have drones, you name it. I think we're looking for anything that we can build and grow as a department. And then what are some things, like, I do think it's important to know kind of some things that we're looking for in a candidate. Like we said, our culture is what makes us special, but also remember, you have a clean slate on day one, but we expect hardworking, good people who will make us better and adhere to the core values of our department. We definitely all are hardworking people that want to see this department grow and move forward at the rapid rate that we have been.
I just wanted to clarify one thing on the teams. I think the application might have shown a hazmat incentive, I believe. And just so everyone's in the loop, our hazmat team currently has 6 members on it. So it's not open for everyone to get the incentive. So you have to be on the team. And the spots will only open up when somebody either A, retires, or B, leaves the team. So there is a 5% incentive for that, but it's not an open team for as many people who are available. So just to clarify that. And then I think there was a question. No, did she answer that already?
Yes, we do have one question from the audience. So the question is, I believe I already know the answer. However, how has the labor management relationship been over the past few years? Are labor and management able to have open communication? So Chief Herrick, would you like to start that out? And if anyone from the labor side would like to pick that up as well.
Absolutely. Let me start by saying that Chief Lukenbach, Deputy Chief Sturdy, and myself are all union board members. At times during our ranks when we were firefighters, engineers, and captains, I personally believe that I understand labor's position, and having a harmonious relationship is a key to having success as we drive our department forward. I 100% believe in open communications. And I think I can speak for Chief Sturdy and Chief Lukenbach on that as well. And then I'd like to pass that on to Firefighter Torres, who is currently the union's vice president, and let him speak from a labor perspective.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. So I'm also like he said, the vice president for FPFA, our local association. We're part of 1186. That's the union for the county. The labor management relationship has been awesome here. It's been great. Like he said, definitely open line of communication. We have JLM meetings every month. There's always constant feedback from both sides, working together and just trying to make this place. They understand. They came from these ranks and they understand, and they haven't forgotten about that. And that's been a nice thing to work with on the labor side. So it's definitely a good thing, and going to continue to get better over these next 5-10 years.
Thank you, guys. Is there any other questions tied to that from the audience? Okay, we have one more question that just came in. On average, how many years are new employees moved from a safer position to a city-funded position? I can speak to that. So we haven't had a lot of safer positions historically, so I wouldn't say there's necessarily an average. It's purely going to be based on retirements. What I will say is that the group that was hired just in January, February, a couple of those people will already be moving into permanent funded positions. So it really is just based on timing and as retirements occur.
Taylor, may I add to that?
Sure.
So we just did an exercise with our department, and we're looking at over the next 3 to 7 years, we're looking at everybody who has already indicated they're retiring, who is eligible to retire. And out of our staffing, we're looking at possibly 20 to 30 people retiring. So in these next 3 to 7 years, 5 out of our 6 chief officers, that would be the chief, deputy chiefs, and battalion chiefs, are all scheduled or anticipated to retire. 14 captains are anticipated to retire, and then 1 additional engineer. So not only are you looking at coming to the department at a great time, getting a little experience, and then being able to promote, so you're not going to be stuck in firefighter positions that long. There's, with this type of anticipated retirements, you know, and we're hiring quality people. I don't expect any of these positions to be threatened through the attrition and in these retirements. I expect everybody off of this list to get moved. And again, in my opinion, I expect everybody off of this list to get moved into permanent positions, and us to be hiring a couple more academies in the next few years.
Great. Thank you for elaborating on that, Chief Herrick. We have another question that just came in. The question is, will you allow station visits and or ride-alongs? And if so, what would be the best way to go about scheduling that? So if anybody does have a personal contact with any of the firefighters here at Fairfield, please go ahead and move forward with scheduling with them directly. If you don't know anybody, you can go ahead and reach out to me, or you can just contact our front office and we can connect you with the right people. My contact information will be displayed at the end of this PowerPoint. We're definitely open to station visits and ride-alongs. Last year, when we did a recruitment process with COVID, we were not able to accommodate that, but we're certainly happy to do so for this one. Anyone from labor like to add anything there?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, definitely come by. I mean, you guys hear us talking about the culture a lot here, but I think it's going to sink in a little bit more once you guys come by the stations and actually come around the crews and see that for yourselves. The atmosphere that we provide here, it's unlike any other place. Definitely a lot of departments don't have that. So yeah, come by, ride with us. Like I said, I'm 41A. Robbie's at 41B with me, or on B shift. Come by. My crew's always down to have ride-alongs, station visits. You guys can ask questions. We can go over stuff. We're more than happy to do that.
All right. Are there any other questions from the audience at this time? Or members of the panel? Did you guys think of anything more that you wanted to add?
If you guys have any questions about any of the benefits, the pay, incentives, all that kind of stuff, that's another thing to pay attention to as well. Obviously, the salary that's posted is the base salary. If you guys have any questions about any of the other incentives that's on our benefits package, Robbie's actually a really good one to ask that. He's dialed with all the numbers. Like he said, he's been the negotiations for a while now. So feel free to ask.
Okay. I brought my paycheck in. Actually, I can go over all the other stuff because the base pay, what's listed on there, is basically just that. It's your base pay. But all the other stuff that we get, I don't know how much was listed on the application process. But basically, just going down the line, the paramedic incentive is not listed in there. So that's an additional 10% on top of your base pay. We also get an additional 2.5% for EMT incentive. And then we also get 6.4% of holiday pay as well. Those are all separate line items on the on your paycheck. So if you're looking at the base pay thinking, okay, hey, that's less than I'm making now, you go in and add 10% for paramedic, 2.5 for EMT, 6.5 for holiday, and then a bunch of other small ones that we get. We get monthly allowance basically for uniforms, for cleaning and replacement of stuff, for equipment and tools. So all that stuff adds up. And I mean, you're looking at 20 to 25% more than what that base pay is showing you. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to speak up on it. Just while we're on the topic, a few things that I'm not sure if you guys know that we have outside of pay is our comp time bank. Not sure how many of you guys have comp time bank, probably most of you, but the way ours works is we have a max of 480 hours in there. And once you hit the 480, the rest of it automatically rolls into your check. So you don't have to cash anything out after that. You can keep 480 in there as long as you want, cash it out anytime you want. I think some places you can cash out like your stuff at the end of the year. We can cash out anytime as long as you get it in before payroll. So that's a good benefit. And you can use your comp time as vacation or take it as pay. So with our vacation and sick leave and stuff like that, that comp time kind of falls right into your vacation. So it's kind of an extra little bonus to have that many hours in there. You know, if you get injured off duty and you need extra hours, 480 is a lot, and that could cover you for some time off. So any questions on that?
We actually have several questions that have just come in, not directly tied to that, but let's go ahead and go through those. So the first one is, I'm unsure if the topic was discussed earlier, but can you confirm, does the city have a vaccine mandate? The city does not currently have a vaccine mandate. Leslie from Human Resources, would you like to say anything more on that point?
Yeah, we have no vaccine mandate, but we do follow, we follow Cal OSHA and Solano County guidelines.
All right, thank you. The next question is, will laterals be able to negotiate pay? So the base pay scale that Robbie was just referring to is the scale that we're working within. As far as negotiating, the fire chief will have the discretion as far as laterals go with your experience level and what you're bringing to the table as far as where you may land within those 5 steps there. Chief Herrick, is there anything more you wanted to comment on there?
No.
Okay. If you have any further questions there, please go ahead and elaborate. You can ask again in the Q&A. Next question is, how many mandatory overtime shifts are the firefighter paramedics averaging per month? Would someone from the panel like to take that one from your experience?
Yeah, I can take that, Taylor. So we just got through a staffing shortage, so we were getting mandoed quite a bit, but actually right now we're pretty close to constant staffing. We're short a couple positions right now. The mandos aren't bad right now. We've still been keeping pretty steady with overtime. So they're not bad at all. And we have a whole mando policy, covers it all internally. And then I wanted to touch on also vacation time. That's another thing that's nice here is when obviously during probation, you have to get BC approval to take any vacation time. But once you're off probation, we can take vacation. We don't have we have vacation picks that we do annually, but that doesn't mean you're just stuck to those dates. That's a nice thing about us is if you need to take a day off, do whatever, you can take it actually up to 24 hours. If you give at least 24 hours notice, you can take vacation and it's guaranteed off at any point in time throughout the year. So that's another nice thing. Obviously, if your balances, if you have the vacation time in your balance, but
that and we have 4 spots a day. So if there's already 96 hours of vacation taken in a day, then it's maxed out.
All right, I'm not seeing, oh, here's one more question. Okay, is there a residency requirement? No, there is no residency requirement here. Did anyone have anything else to add to that comment? All right. Any other questions from the audience? All right, so at this time we will go, oh, go ahead.
I see a question up there on a cap on sick leave accrual.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, because you're right. I missed that. Go ahead. You can speak to it.
What is
You
it?
know?
Yeah, there is. It's in the benefits package sheet. Yeah, so $650 for the sick leave accrual, and then there's a cap on vacation time as well too. That's dependent on the position, but it should all be in there. That one should all be in there on the benefits package that they posted.
So when it hits that 650 mark, at the end of the year, it does a one-time rollover into your retirement account. So anything over that at the end of the year. So if you don't want it rolling over that, you're using your sick leave at the end of the year. If it's at 650 or below, nothing will happen. If it's at 700, you get 50 hours worth of money rolled into your retirement healthcare savings account.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Another question just came in. They were late to the meeting and wanted to confirm the number of spots that we're hiring for. So we currently have 2 open vacancies, and then a 3rd spot is becoming available in June based on a retirement. And there could potentially be more coming up later in the year. Any other comments from anyone on that bit? Chief Herrick?
You know, I did want to loop back to that vaccine mandate question. With our county, I don't see anything on the horizon that our county would enforce that mandate. The only thing that we're going to be, other than what Leslie had mentioned, as far as following Cal OSHA guidelines, we would just have to fall under any type of state or federal guidelines that come out. But I don't anticipate anything from the city or the county.
All right, thank you. We have another question regarding the academy. When can we expect the academy to begin? Chief Herrick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we were anticipating an August start based on the timeline for the process and then the background medical psych phase. So we're looking at a start date around mid to late September.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Okay, I don't see any other questions at this time. If anyone would like to type anything in, certainly can right now. And if not, you can please feel free to reach out to myself or any of the other panel members that have spoken today. If you have any specific questions, my contact information is here. We are also planning, this has been recorded, and we are planning to post this so that anyone, if they would like to go back and review anything, you can have access to that. Other than that, thank you guys so much for participating. We really enjoyed having you on today and hope that it was insightful, and we look forward to meeting you.
Just got one more question. Does the department support single resource overhead deployments during fire season? Yes, so we will send out, we are actively involved in the state mutual aid. We'll actively send out strike teams, and we'll also send out single roles, fire line medics, safety officers, and anything else. Depending on how many we send out, it just depends on our current staffing levels and what it looks like as far as operationally internally, but we're heavily participate in that.
All right, thank you, Chief. I don't see any other questions at this time, so I think we're going to go ahead and call it. Thank you again to everybody.